Hi Robin, what's that on your head?
I just got asked by these stupid kids.
What are they doing that for?
They said that I'm a retard.
Come in. Come through to the kitchen and we'll get you cleaned up.
I've got a disability. I'm frightened that it might stop me from doing other things I want to do, and I'm frightened that people might not understand me.
What kind of disability?
A learning difficulty.
I know you're in different classes at school, but I didn't think about it.
That's because my mum wanted me to go to a mainstream school. Up until when I left, I started living on my own.
Learning disability? Who's got a learning disability?
I have.
Have you?
Yes. I was born with cerebral palsy that affects my balance and my speech.
Look, sir, he's been egged by some idiot.
Well, that's not very nice. Here.
Thank you.
I know all about that. I used to write letters to a lady called Mabel Cooper. She had to go into this big hospital with bars on the windows for about 20 years. But when she came out, she did a lot of great things.
Mabel Cooper? I never knew anything about this. Where is she now?
Sadly, she passed away a few years ago. I've got some things in my room if you want to see.
Alright.
Come on. These are all her medical notes from St Lawrence's Hospital back in the 50s.
That's well old.
Yeah, but she didn't actually leave till the late 70s.
So you're saying your friend Mabel Cooper was put in a hospital just because she had learning difficulties?
Yeah, but they didn't call her that.
Stupid.
Imbecile.
Can't read or write.
Slow.
Feeble-minded.
Socially awkward.
Defective. Sounds like they're talking about a broken iPod.
Mad.
Childish.
Doesn't play with others well.
Depressed.
Retarded.
Retarded.
It says here in the general records that her health was fine, so why was she a prisoner in the hospital?
She wasn't even allowed out. There are loads of other places like St Lawrence's then all around the UK.
And I suppose lots of stories like Mabel's.
But where was her family? Why didn't they collect her?
See, years ago, I didn't talk. I only said yes or no. Only because they used to just keep saying shut up all the time. I'm Mabel. I was taken from Mum when I was 3 weeks old because Mum was begging on the street. My grandfather didn't like the man she was going out with and said, you can't live here if you're going to marry this man. They said, oh, you can't have a baby on the street. The police took me away from Mum, and I was put in all these different homes, and Mum was put in Darren's Park. So I didn't see Mum again. So I went to Bedford's home, run by nuns, off and on. And they said, sorry, you can't stay here either. And then I went to St Lawrence's because I went up to this place in Town Hall, I think it was Town Hall, to have a test to see how bad the learning disability is. And they said, oh, you need care for the rest of your life. You need some sort of help for, But I thought, how did they know that at that age?
So you're saying that Mabel was put in there because her granddad didn't like her dad?
That's unfair, and it wasn't even medically based.
Yeah, and that's what happened to a lot of people.
I wonder what it was like living in that hospital.
What did she wear in the hospital?
Where was she from?
Was it like a prison?
What friends did she have?
What was life like after the hospital?
You should speak to Gloria.
Who's she?
She lived with Mabel in St Lawrence's and they left together, but she's still alive. Look, here she is.
I've just been looking at some of Mabel's notes, and the people at St Lawrence's described her as ill, but she wasn't ill.
She wasn't ill. She had a learning disability like myself. We also made films together like this. And we made these films that people can see what it was like in the hospital.
When you're 11, and you go into these big buildings, into like something like St Lawrence's, it's very frightening. You think you would go into a madhouse because of the noise.
I didn't like it really, only because it wasn't like a family home really. They just used to shout and pull you around. I don't like being pulled about.
The walls were this big, long. As long as this.
They were
Because
massive.
they were long, and the beds were that close together. And in the daytime, you wasn't allowed to sit on your bed.
Didn't have any privacy.
No privacy, because
No
if you went
curtains.
into the bathroom, people could get into it. If you imagine being in a prison, and the prison, and the people keep coming in and out, that was just the same, and they had bars up.
We didn't have any of our own clothes. They used to have a big cupboard in the wards, and you just helped yourself. If you had one dress on one day, and then the next day somebody else will have it on because it'll have gone to the laundry and come back again. I find now it's lovely because I can just wear my own and nobody else is going to wear them. At the time there was a great fear that we would have babies, so men and women were separated. Every Tuesday at 7 o'clock they would all go down to the dance hall. The men one side, the women the other. And in the middle there was staff. The men got up and asked some of the ladies to dance. They danced all the way round the staff, but when the music was finished, the men had to go back one side and the women back the other. Because you couldn't mix.
Wow, that's fascinating. So you didn't wear your own clothes, you didn't cook your own food, you didn't even have your own bedroom. I don't know what it must have been like.
It wasn't very nice, really.
Well, I can't imagine someone of my age would put up with that. So what happened after when the hospitals closed down?
We all had to move out into supported living in the community.
Love to live on a boat.
Yeah, no rent.
Freedom.
Best life ever.
Yeah. What shoes are those?
Superman trainers, top of the line.
Top of the line.
Yeah,
Super-
yeah. Look at what you're wearing. You look like you've got some from a homeless man. I wouldn't been speaking Dutch wearing those.
You've got about as much fashion sense as Arsene Wenger.
Come on. At least I had a choice.
I had a choice. What do you mean?
I mean, Mabel didn't have a choice. She had to wear whatever clothes she was given.
I know how it feels. Dad sometimes wears my socks.
Yeah, I mean, imagine 30 years ago, I would have been in that hospital. I would have been into the same situation as her.
Coming out after living in care for 20 years can't have been easy.
Moving into the community wasn't easy at first though. It's very frightening. Very frightening when you come out of a hospital. After being there for 20 years, we had to get used to it. We had to learn to get on a bus or learn to get on a train. And if you can't read, it's much more difficult. So it took us a long time to learn to get on and do these things. Because you'd never seen money in the hospital, you didn't know what money was like. So when you come out of the hospital, it was very hard for me to get used to dealing with money as money is.
Coming up, there's 60p change.
But now I'm okay. I do go out and buy things for myself. In the hospital, you didn't get choice. But out in the community, you get choice of all different things. I go into a pub, I go on the fair, I go in and buy tea and everything, which we wasn't allowed to do. So all the things we wasn't allowed to do, I do. Because, you know, I think it's fun. If you're put into long stay hospitals, you don't learn. So for me, it is upsetting. Safe
Very
in.
good.
So I said I have to learn to read. So I went to the college and I did that for a year.
I went to the local library to find out more, and I realised there were other people just like Mabel. Lots of people moved out, and this was called Care the Community. Mabel campaigned that no one should be able to go back into the hospital. She eventually helped to demolish St. Lawrence's in the 1990s.
Crane is so high.
Yeah.
Imagine being up there. All these new buildings all around us, but like, what was there before?
I think it was the hospital.
So Mabel blew up the hospital?
Yeah. Just think of it, blowing up the hospital. He was in for 20 years.
How do they know what rights they had when they got out? I'll call Sarah. She seems to know everything.
Now will report on Islamic State in Gaza. We'll debate which
Hello?
is better.
Hi Sarah, it's me.
Oh, hi.
I was just with Robin and we were talking about Mabel and her life.
Oh, yeah?
And like we were wondering like how she was like a prisoner. How did she know what rights she had when she got out?
Well, she was part of People First and self-advocacy groups in London.
What's that?
It's like self-advocacy, speaking up for your rights. It's like the protest movement and that sort of stuff.
Still don't get what you're talking about.
You need to speak to Jane and she'll tell you all about it.
Can you give me her number?
I'll text Robin her number.
Okay, alright, bye. Apparently you need to speak to someone called Jane.
It's Jane. So Mabel, when she came out of St. Lawrence's, how did she know what right she had?
Well, she joined People First.
What's People First?
People First is a self-advocacy group where people with learning disabilities get together and support each other to speak up about issues that are important to them. And it was through that group that she was really able to understand what her rights were and to have a voice and be able to campaign for getting those rights.
What did she campaign about?
I guess for her, it was campaigning that somewhere like St Lawrence's could never happen again.
Well, she did blow it up, and she achieved her goals.
Yeah, but her goal wasn't just for herself, because she was passionate about making sure that things stayed right for young people. She became an ambassador and spoke out to lots of people about her experiences as a person with a learning disability. And she also went to schools to talk to children to try and stop bullying happening as had happened to her when she was younger.
I'm glad that she did that for not only me, but for people like me as well.
In fact, she got an honorary degree from the Open University for all the work that she did.
An honorary degree? How do I find out more about that?
I think you need to talk to Dorothy Atkinson.
Oh, well. Wow, an honorary degree. What was it like on the day?
It was a very magical day, actually. And in fact, Mabel was so surprised that she was getting a degree, she could hardly believe it when she was first told.
So what is an honorary degree?
And Mabel got hers because she'd made a wonderful contribution to the work of the university through the books that she helped us produce, and a contribution to the wider society because she helped influence organisations and politicians and various key people. So she helped change policy and practice.
Wow, that's really unusual for someone with learning difficulty.
Well, it all started really with this book, Forgotten Lives, because Mabel's life story first appeared in that book, and that life story was told entirely from memory.
We found some of Mabel's medical notes. How did this fit into your story?
We didn't even know there were any medical notes at that stage because the hospital had closed. So we had to do a bit of detective work to find out whether there were any notes, and if so, where they were. And we tracked them down to the Life Care Trust, which had kept all the records of people that had lived in St Lawrence's. Well, they kept most of them. In fact, they were throwing them out after 20 years, and we got Mabel's just in the nick of time. And it was the first time Mabel knew who she was, where she came from.
She was described as some hopeless words like slow, retarded.
And Mabel actually was shocked, but she took it as something to react against. And she was determined from there on to prove the records wrong.
And she clearly did that.
And that led to our excitement to being invited to Australia.
Mabel has been a massive influence to me.
What else do you think needs to change to carry Mabel's work forward?
Well, obviously to change other people's perceptions and to try and help other people with learning difficulty to get more opportunities.
So, well, maybe you can help to push that forward.
I'm going to fight the system.
She went on to do a lot of great things. She did books, she did documentaries, and she told her life story all around the world.
So Mabel really helped people with learning difficulties to have better treatment. So things are better now, right?
No, I agree with you. I mean, Mabel did a lot of great things and she closed down the hospital. But there's still a long way to go to help people like me.
Oh, sorry, I didn't really realise.
Don't worry, a lot of people don't realise. Anyway, I better go. I've got a lot of things to do.
Hang on, isn't anyone going to help me tidy this up?
Yeah, I suppose so. Alright, I'll walk you to the bus stop.
I'll come through. That's an Ezra thing.
Good one.
Throughout the years you were our friend. You served us well until the end. We liked your warm and tender touch and think about you very much. We will miss you every day, even more than words can say. We all miss your cheerful greetings and the way you address the meetings. Thank you for being a good friend to us over the years.